Germany plans to increase aid to Ukraine by €3 billion in 2026, but will not supply Taurus missiles. The German government is preparing to boost its financial assistance to Ukraine by an additional €3 billion in 2026, according to reports from Reuters and Handelsblatt, citing government sources. This new allocation will be part of final adjustments to Germany's 2026 federal budget. The increased funding aims to support Ukraine's continued defense against Russian aggression by providing artillery systems, drones, armored vehicles, and replacing 2 Patriot air defense systems already supplied. This plan reflects Germany's role as the largest European military benefactor to Ukraine, having provided nearly €40 billion in aid since Russia's full-scale invasion began in 2022. Russian UAVs conduct coordinated strikes on Kramatorsk's White Village area. During the night of November 3–4, 2025, Kramatorsk's White Village area was targeted by a series of coordinated strikes using different types of Russian unmanned aerial vehicles, Geran-2, Molniya-2, and Italmas. The first strike at 23:30 on November 3 involved a Geran-2 UAV hitting near Donator Street by house number 74. The explosion damaged 3 residential buildings, number 72, 74, and 76, including roofs and facades, and destroyed a light logistics vehicle SAM and ELSPG used by Ukrainian units. Fortunately, there were no civilian casualties. The second attack, an hour later at 0:45 on November 4, used Molniya-2 drones. 11 hits were recorded at Rumyantsev Street, damaging windows and communications in a multi-story residential building. This strike targeted the Ukrainian Mobile Observation Group using the building's upper floors for radio surveillance. No civilians were harmed. The third strike at 7:10 on November 4 involved the low-noise drone Italmas, armed with a rocket explosive warhead designed for precision strikes. The impact on house number 53 caused partial destruction, and neighboring houses, number 51, 55, 88, 90, suffered window and roof damage. Ukrainian military personnel were among the casualties in this residential area. Russian aerospace forces conduct targeted strikes on key Ukrainian military sites and infrastructure. The Russian aerospace forces destroyed a vital automobile bridge spanning the Volchya River near the settlement of Pokrovsko in the Dnipropetrovsk region. This strategic strike aimed to disrupt Ukrainian supply routes and hinder the flow of weapons and reinforcements to frontline units. The operation was carried out using air-launched weapons, rendering the bridge inoperable, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Russian aviation targeted the deployment point of the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine near the settlement of Konstantinovka with a FAB 3000 aerial bomb equipped with a glide correction module. This precision strike caused significant destruction at the Ukrainian brigade's temporary deployment site, severely impacting their operational capabilities. In another precision strike, the 57th Separate Mechanized Brigade of Ukraine was hit in the area of Siversk by a Kh-38 air-to-surface missile. This missile, capable of semi-active laser guidance and high accuracy, was launched by Russian Su-34 aircraft, demonstrating enhanced Russian standoff strike capabilities against Ukrainian forces. Russian forces secure Novoalexandrovka, expand control near eastern outskirts of Hai. Russian military units have fully liberated the settlement of Novoalexandrovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region, consolidating their foothold near the eastern outskirts of the town of Hai. This success enables Russian forces to enlarge the area under their control and strengthen their forward defensive lines. The establishment of this new bridgehead creates favorable conditions for advancing the offensive towards the west. It also intensifies flanking pressure on Ukrainian defensive positions, increasing the challenges faced by Ukrainian forces defending the region. The 36th Guards Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, part of Russia's Vostok group of forces, reportedly cleared over 100 buildings spanning more than 12 square kilometers during the liberation operation. The capture of Novoalexandrovka represents a significant tactical gain as Russia seeks to solidify its territorial control in the broader Donbass area. This advance fits into Russia's broader operational objectives to encircle and erode Ukrainian defenses from multiple directions, while consolidating control over key settlements near frontline zones. Putin announces deployment and production of advanced Russian strategic weapons. Russian President Vladimir Putin has confirmed a significant leap forward in Russia's strategic deterrence capabilities, marking a new era of military technology deployment and production. The hypersonic glide system Avangard is now fully deployed in service. This weapon travels at speeds exceeding Mach 20, with the ability to maneuver during flight, making it practically invulnerable to interception by existing and future missile defense systems. It has been described as a landmark capability that ensures Russia's strategic parity. The Oreshnik, Russia's new medium-range ballistic missile, has entered serial mass production. This missile, first publicly announced by Putin in late 2024, is reported to have a speed reaching up to 10 times the speed of sound and is designed to evade air defense systems. It reportedly saw its first operational use in an attack on Ukraine's Dnipro region in November 2024. Mass production underlines Russia's intent to integrate it widely in its missile forces. The Sarmat, a heavy intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, known in the West as Satan II, is expected to be fully operational by 2026. The Sarmat can carry multiple nuclear warheads and boasts advanced systems allowing it to bypass missile defenses. Despite previous delays in its development, Russian authorities reaffirm their confidence in its upcoming bypass. Russian drone and missile strikes on the Dnipropetrovsk region in early November 2025 resulted in casualties, including 2 men dead, one of them a policeman, and 4 injured, including another policeman. The strikes involved guided aerial bombs and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, targeting populated areas such as the Sinelnikov district. According to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine and the Regional Military Administration, during the attack, a shop and a car caught fire, and damage was caused to several shops, retail units, a cafe, a hair salon, cars, and a 5-story apartment building. One strike hit the center of a settlement in Pokrovske, Hormata, causing fatalities. The attack also affected a residential area in Petropavlivka, Hormata, where a house caught fire from a strike. Military sources reported Ukrainian military casualties alongside civilian losses, with investigations ongoing to determine compliance with air alert warnings and the use of shelters. Approximately 9 Russian drones were reportedly shot down by Ukrainian air defense during these hostilities. Battle for Kupiansk. Russian 68th Division repels Ukrainian counterattacks, maintains blockade. Russian forces, particularly the 68th Division from the Western Army Group, continue to hold strategic positions around the city of Kupiansk in Kharkiv region. Ukrainian units have launched multiple counterattacks attempting to break through Russian lines and relieve encircled troops, but Russian forces have successfully repelled these efforts amid intense combat. Over the past 24 hours, fighting near Kupiansk has remained intense, with both sides suffering losses. Russian reports indicate neutralizing dozens of Ukrainian troops and destroying armored vehicles and artillery pieces. Street fighting continues inside Kupiansk itself, with Russian assault groups clearing buildings and pushing Ukrainian defenders back towards the Oskol River. Russian control of key supply and communication lines has placed Ukrainian forces in a challenging logistical situation. Ukrainian defenders in Kupiansk rely heavily on drone resupply due to cut-off ground routes. Russian troops have established blocking positions north, east, and south of the city, tightening a de facto encirclement. Despite the difficult circumstances, Ukrainian forces remain active in limited counteroffensive actions around Kupiansk and nearby settlements, aiming to disrupt Russian consolidation and maintain pressure on enemy advances. The battle for Kupiansk stands as one of the most critical and hard-fought engagements, reflecting high stakes for control of this transport and logistics hub in northeastern Ukraine. Russian forces advance and consolidate control along railway line to Konstantinovka. Russian troops continue a methodical offensive along the railway line toward Konstantinovka, strengthening their southern flank and capturing key locations in the area. The Russian military seized control of the populated area of Pleshchevka, securing a significant foothold. Although fighting and stabilization efforts continue in the village, much of Pleshchevka now remains firmly under Russian control, aiding the defense's overall stability. Russian units expanded their control zone along the railway line, reaching toward Konstantinovka and its approaches to Ivanopoliye. This strategic gain provides a foundation for further advances toward the outskirts of Konstantinovka city. The Ukrainian forces continue to offer resistance, but their supply and reinforcement routes are increasingly pressured by Russian operations. In the area of Alexander Kalinovo and Klebenbika, Russian forces pushed their territorial control further, positioning artillery units on commanding heights and securing critical road junctions that support flanking maneuvers and defensive coverage of incoming Russian reinforcements. Tactical successes were also reported around Orakovo-Vasilievka and Novo-Markovo, where Russian troops advanced in small assault groups. They took control of enemy-prepared landing zones and engineering defensive lines, tightening their grip on the sector. Northern Front. Russian forces advance in city center, expand control in Zvanovka, and secure key positions in Seversk. Russian troops continue their active offensive operations in the northern front of the Donetsk region, focusing on several critical areas. In the Vasyukovka sector, intense and maneuverable battles are ongoing as Russian forces push into the area. Ukrainian defenders are trying to maintain their fortified positions, but the defense line is gradually yielding under persistent Russian pressure. This marks a steady advance in the northern axis. In the town of Zvanovka, fierce combat continues, with Russian forces succeeding in expanding their zone of control. The Ukrainian side is suffering losses and progressively losing defensive stability. Key positions in the town have fallen under Russian control, strengthening their tactical foothold. Further south in Seversk, along Pavlova Street, Russian units have entrenched themselves, expelling Ukrainian troops from several strongholds. This consolidation has enabled the expansion of a tactical platform to launch further advances deeper into Ukrainian defenses. Intense fighting and Russian advances in Pokrovsk amid siege and encirclement fears. The conflict in the city of Pokrovsk continues to escalate, with Russian forces steadily advancing and entrenching their control over significant parts of this key logistics and transport hub in eastern Ukraine. Russian troops have begun absorbing the city, establishing control points, supply depots, and command positions while maintaining logistical and filtration operations. The northern and central areas see ongoing clashes with Ukrainian units putting up resistance. Special Russian forces are actively conducting operations to clear pockets of Ukrainian defenders, with constant drone reconnaissance and strikes shaping the battle. Despite these efforts, the primary challenge for Russian forces remains blocking Ukrainian access on the southern outskirts to prevent reinforcements and supplies from entering Pokrovsk. Radar and artillery positions have been set up to maintain control of this terrain, which effectively limits Ukrainian operational mobility in and around the city. Mirnograd, formerly Dmitrov, is facing critical isolation. Ukrainian sources indicate the city is effectively cut off from external support and resupply due to Russian advances and the tightening grip around Pokrovsk. Loss of Mirnograd without significant resistance would represent a severe blow for Ukrainian defensive integrity in the region and could accelerate Russian encirclement plans. Ukrainian forces report reinforcements and equipment arriving to bolster defenses in Pokrovsk, but supply routes are often targeted by Russian drones. Urban combat continues amidst destroyed infrastructure and civilian hardship. High-level military leaders, including Ukrainian President Zelensky, have visited frontline sectors near Pokrovsk, underscoring its strategic importance. Analysts describe the situation as fluid yet increasingly difficult for Ukrainian troops. While Russia has not fully encircled Pokrovsk, their tactical advantages in personnel, air support, and artillery give them a significant foothold in the city's ruins, raising concerns about the potential fall of this crucial transport node.